This time, BSA's Gold Star 650. Will it sell? And before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. BSA's all-new Gold Star 650. It shouldn't be long now before it finally reaches the roads of Britain and the rest of the world. The big question is the thing going to sell? The short answer is almost certainly yes, if only because of the name on the tank. But just how well it sells ultimately will depend on a few factors. First of all, where the bike's actually built. If production is solely in India, that's likely to negatively impact on sales, at least to some extent. Although, given the success of Royal Enfield, this may not be as great an effect as it might otherwise have been in the past. Secondly, there's how the bike rides, feels and sounds. At the moment, we can only really speculate about this. And as for the sound, it's interesting that most of the videos shown so far, you haven't really been able to hear the exhaust note, so I suspect that the bike's going to be quite muted. Even so, as long as it's got a reasonably raughty sound, then that should be okay. Thirdly, of course, there's build quality and reliability. Again, we can only really speculate about those at the moment. But we do know that there were some issues initially with the Jawas, and these did dent the sales to some extent in India. Similar problems with the BSA in Europe, and we could be looking at nothing like the success that BSA were hoping for. Then of course, there's the big issue of price. Where are BSA going to be pitching the new bike? I'm expecting it to be a little bit more expensive than Royal Enfield's. The big question is how much. Royal Enfield have had a lot of success with their models of late, so they will present stiff competition to any budging BSA sales. Of course, we don't know the final price of the machine, but if it pitches over £8,000 in Britain, then that's certainly going to put it nearer the Triumph or Motor Guzzi end of the market. And against bikes like that, I feel that BSA are going to struggle for sales. When a Euro 4 version of the Jawa was briefly available in Europe, it was significantly more expensive than the Royal Enfield 350s that are now on the market. But there may be factors that BSA can't control which will determine their price in Europe. I suspect, despite being bankrolled by the massive Mahindra Corporation, the new BSA company is simply not going to have the production capacity that Royal Enfield have at the moment. That being the case, it's going to be very difficult for them to actually compete on price with Royal Enfield. And of course it's taken Royal Enfield many decades of hard work to really break into the European and US markets. They also have a well-established and large dealer network, and BSA are going to struggle to establish anything near that size. So ultimately, are they going to be able to compete on sheer numbers with Royal Enfield? At the moment it would appear not. But how close they can get will determine just how successful they're ultimately going to be. If they can pitch the bike at the right price to the right quality, then it will ultimately be very successful. If they can't, then I'm afraid they're probably going to struggle. But all this is in the future. We still await to test ride any of the bikes. And when we finally do, and we know the price, I think then we'll have a much better idea on how ultimately successful or not the BSA is going to be. So fingers crossed that we get a road test sometime soon. Well, I do hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. And of course, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.